breaking free. Yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression. It's out for liberty. Breaking free. Yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts. We're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. We're claiming our land.
I hate this show. Oh my goodness.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to a Tuesday night edition of Are You Smarter Than a Politician? This is your gateway drug to liberty. What if the reality you're seeing isn't the whole picture? From who shapes the narrative to wars without end, from influence for sale to the true cost of ownership, from free speech under threat to power, control, and who really pays the price. We're pulling back the curtain on media, messaging, and manipulation. And tonight, three friends of mine, notable political minds, step in, ready to challenge the narrative, defend their views, and go head to head on the ideas that shape your world. So get ready, because tonight you decide who is smarter than a politician. Joining us again, my buddy, David Fite. He does the Fight for Liberty podcast on YouTube and Rumble. You can check out his new X handle. Well, I guess he's had it for a while, but his main X handle at Free Speech Corp. How are you tonight, David?
I'm doing great. Still a little bit salty about the losing of the other Twitter, but excited to be on the show. Excited to compete against these wonderful gentlemen tonight, and thanks for doing this.
At least you lost it due to, a breach of X. Like, I lost my last one for posting my main conf postcard. So, like, at least, but mine was to content reasons. So I'm still salty about that.
Yeah, I just clicked a phishing link because I'm a moron.
Yeah. A lot of people have done that. So I'm with you. So what have you been up to? And plug your stuff, please.
So the show Fight for Liberty is back up and running. We've got tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern. We've got Hannah Heinrichsen, who's the president of Respect America, coming on to talk about how she became the head of that organization, as well as kind of her background in sports and other things. I'm very excited to get to talk to her tomorrow. We'll also be at the National Convention in just a few weeks, doing some interviews and talking to some people there. And there will likely be a few other live events being covered by the network throughout the summer and into the fall, but only one of them is really confirmed yet, so I don't want to say it.
Okay. All right. A little teaser. I like it. All right. Well, look forward to seeing you at the convention in a few weeks. That'll be a lot of fun. So also joining us, you may know him as the scientific libertarian, but his government tracking name is Carl Krambeck. He is a former candidate for the Iowa House of Representatives, and you can find him on X at Sci Libertarian. How are you tonight, Sci?
I'm pretty good. You typically know me in Free's comment section, just riling things up, and that's about it pretty much going on right now. Not a whole lot.
That's the whole pitch right there?
Yeah, that's the whole pitch. I'm just kind of talking crud in your comment section pretty much the whole time. And that's about it.
Yeah,
that's what I got.
That's fair. You sometimes infiltrate people's comments and other stuff too. So, yeah, excellent.
Every once in a while.
Well, Yeah, always fun to have you. It's always fun having you throw a wrench in whatever I'm doing. It's fun to have you do it live sometimes. So, all right, buddy. And last but not least, my buddy Jake Day. He does the If by Whiskey podcast on YouTube and Rumble. And he just changed his X handle. So update your Rolodex or however people do that nowadays. He's at Left Coast Speed on X. How are you tonight, Jake?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me back. I've been on twice, lost both times, so I'm going for a three-peat tonight.
Yeah, there you go. That's some White Sox numbers right there.
Hey.
Tell everybody about what you're up to.
We got If by Whiskey. We've got, I think, 2 or 3 episodes left before the Freedom Fest live shows that we're doing. I'm working on some stuff in the background with a couple of our other friends, so I can't really drop that yet. I'm going to copy David and do a little tease here. But, yeah, man, life's good. I'm in the middle of moving, so I got that going on for me. But, no, I'm happy to be here and excited to play.
Perfect. Everybody's doing the teasers tonight. And speaking of teases, our lovely producer, Terry Batts, how are you tonight? All right. She can't unmute. I broke her. You know I'll just leave you on the screen.
Well done.
Stop it. Okay, hi everybody. How you doing out there? Don't pay attention to Free tonight. He doesn't know what to speak of. You guys have fun. Please share it out, chat. We're fighting X again. The battle is on.
True story, man. It is some hard fighting on X when you're against all of the tyranny, I guess. So, yeah. And tonight's show is sponsored by our friends at Zoom. And if you believe adults should be free to explore their own consciousness and you're looking for a modern, precision-dosed psychedelic experience, check out zoomtrip.com. That's XUMTRIP.com and see what they're building over there. And we appreciate them sponsoring the show and all of our subscribers. There's so many of them now. We appreciate you all so much. You guys have made all of this possible, from our monthly bills, from doing the show to being able to travel to 8 state conventions. We appreciate you guys so much. And if you want to subscribe to us, you can do that on X. And a little treat for our subscribers, we're going to have a subscriber showdown probably in June. And it's going to be all subscribers. It's going to be just a battle royal of our friends that support the show. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're not a subscriber yet, you can still do that and qualify for that. And if you want to sponsor the show, email studio@freedomuncut.com. We have a couple more dates coming up, and I just lost one of them. Here it is. We will be at the Libertarian National Convention May 21st through 25th. And if you want to register for that, there's still time. Go to lnc2026.com. And we will be on the main stage. I believe it's Saturday night. And so that's going to be a lot of fun for us. And that probably will be our 100th show. So that's going to be a pretty cool celebration to be there doing that live in front of so many of our friends. And then we will be at Freedom Fest July 8th through 11th in Las Vegas. That's going to be a ton of fun. You can register for that at freedomfest.com. If you haven't been there, that is like the Super Bowl of Liberty events. It's so much fun. Everybody's there. And you can use the discount code SPIKE100 to get $100 off. And that supports You Are the Power. And we will be part of their offering at Freedom Fest. So we really appreciate them and want you to support them. And one new one, and now I lost this one too. What is going on? I was just talking about how stuff disappears on me here. Here we go. Thanks to the great David Fite, who's on the show tonight, we will be at the Midwest Peace and Liberty Festival August 6th through 9th, and that is in Lake Satoshi, Michigan. And we'll be doing the show there and some other things. I hear it's great. I've gotten reports back from people who have done it in the past. I hear it's a great time, so we're really looking forward to it. It's a pretty chill, laid-back thing where you can camp or do whatever you want. So that'll be a really great time. David, did you want to add anything to that?
I'll just tag on that. Definitely go check out mplfest.org. I think it's .org. Maybe it's .com. Shoot, should have double checked that. It's a great event. It's a bunch of libertarians and anarchists and agorists, most of whom have kind of moved past the electoral political system into homesteading and direct action and just coalition building and those types of activities. It's a very chill, laid back experience most of the time, but we've also got really awesome speakers coming out this year, including we'll have this wonderful show happening live. We've probably got Thomas Queters likely coming out from the Mobility Independence Foundation. I'll be speaking, as well as quite a few other pretty awesome people. And most of the speeches are not going to be like political pontification. It's, hey, here's how to make your garden work better, or how to fix up your chicken coop better, or something like that. Like real just instructional and helpful speeches and talks from people who are out there actually living that life. So it's a good time.
Awesome. And yeah, that is mplfest.org.
Thanks.
It's on my phone, so I got lucky on that one. So. Every once in a while, a blind squirrel gets a nut, right? So let's jump into the chat real quick. Kay's here. What's up, Kay? A subscriber. Thank you so much. Amity's here. Another subscriber. First 100 each to David and Jake for having me on their shows. Bonus 50 to Jake for having me on twice. I feel like that should have been an extra 100. There's a math error there somewhere. Ryan Woodcraft's here. Another subscriber. And of the historic victory in El Paso, that Woodcraft. What's up, awesome people? Let's get it. Shirley, another subscriber. What's up, Shirley? From across the pond. Gnome's here. What's up? Yeah, I'm broke. Broke in or just broke? That could be either.
Both.
100 to Texas's own David Fite. Yep. Dan's here. Another subscriber. 200 to Jake for the Massey shirt. There you go. I wasn't even staring at it. There we go. Oh yeah, Massey
Game to play.
There we go. That'll work well for you. Minus 200 to Cy from being from Iowa. That feels low. That feels low. Did David just say sports and things as if he doesn't know sports? Minus 100. Brent's here. What's up, Brent? Another subscriber from the Aiming Up podcast. 200 to anyone who has done my show. I've never been invited, but I don't get scores anyway. So, yeah. And Anarchist Chef's here. What's up, buddy? Another subscriber. I feel like this is a status report. Like, isn't that like on Facebook? Didn't you put your your status or whatever? William's here. A new subscriber. What's up, William? And he was on the show last time. A big howdy from Texas. 50 to Cy if he admits to being a phlebotomist. Did I say that right? That seems correct.
That's part of what I do, but it's not my job title.
You should have just admitted it, but he's not going to fact check you. 75 to Jake for the power arms. That's a true story right there. 200 to Jake for being Anarcho Syndicate's clothing's best customer. There you go.
I'll take it.
Our buddy Waz is here. What's up, buddy? Check out Waz's podcast as well. LPNC's here. We just were at their convention, had a great time. Oh, that's Rob. That wouldn't have said hi then. And Rob's running for LNC chair, which we'll get to vote on at the upcoming convention that I mentioned, so that'll be fun. 200 to anyone who will be a delegate in Grand Rapids. Any delegates? Just David. Cy, you're not a delegate?
I mean, you can fill in, but yeah, I might not be able to make it this year.
Try to dial the energy down just a little bit, Cy. We're like you're blowing out my eardrums. The camera's having a hard time following you. Let's see. 200 to David for getting the show to a hippie festival. I've already started not showering in preparation for it.
Nice.
You've heard of Santa. You've probably heard of Krampus, but have you heard of their cousin from Corn Country, Krambeck? 50 to Carl. 200 to Jake for the social distortion hat. Jake's winning for all the apparel. Another 200 for the Less Marks More Mises banner. And 200 to Cy for being based as hell. 100 to Ryan for giving free a big word. Yeah, that's fair. Rich is here. What's up? 200 to Jake for telling me about this channel that I subscribe to. That's awesome. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Try Liberty podcast is here. I'm looking forward to that. I think that launches Thursday, so that'll be cool. I think I know who that is, but I don't think they announced it, so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say. So they are locked in. Appreciate that. All right, let's get into it here. Welcome again to the show. Please share this out. Help bust the algorithm. They really hate us right now. And I am at Smarter Game Show on X. Terry is Bats T76 if you want the tease action. And helping behind the scenes, as always, Amity Lee 13 and Casey, who does the They Both Suck podcast. He's American versus Gov. When Terry disappears, I have a hard time talking, so stop doing that. And you can get our swag on freedomsuperstore.com. I know Jake's a customer of ours too, so I appreciate that. I am wearing My Other Car is a Killdozer shirt. We have shirts and mugs. And our shorts go up on YouTube at Freedom Uncut. We're also on Rumble, where 3 people see us every year. And I just bitched about that to their founder the other day. So I had to throw a little spin there in case he's watching. And we were on the Money Bomb show. I just wanted to point that out. If you like Larry Sharp, give to their campaign. Larry Sharp and Shannon Joy are awesome. So we were on their show and had a lot of fun. So please give to them so he can win the New York governorship. And that would be pretty cool for New York. All right. So since Trump ruined peace prizes, our grand prize is the Are You Smarter Than a Peace prize. Also on the prize shelf, Mike Johnson's signature cologne Swamp Ass, as well as the Ayn Rand Fountainhead teddy bear. We also have the home edition of Are You Smarter Than a Politician, a bunch of libertarian bobbleheads. We have, if you have a mental midget that needs to take a bath, this is the gift for you. We have the Strait of Hormuz bath set. We also have, I don't know if anybody saw this, but we have the Trump Uno cards. And this game might have dumber rules than the game show. How it works is the government always wins and you get all the cards. So also we have a new game called Billion Dollar Ballroom. And I don't know if it's going to be like a live show or whatever it's going to be, but it's a money pit with cost overruns, budget exploding, no accountability. You pay the bill and it ends up being a deep state playroom. Also, we have the Southern Poverty Law Center hate group starter pack. If you want to get, if you want to get a grant from them, this is what you need. It's got untraceable cash. It's got some costumes for you, and yeah, that's really that. And if your kids want to get into business with Palantir, this is the toy for them. The Build Your Own Surveillance Van play set. And of course, we have the Trump Nativity set because it's May and nobody's taken this piece of crap off of our hands and we paid a terror for it. So, and of course, we've got the Lego Killdozer because nobody talks about the Killdozer more than me and Casey do. All right, here are the rules. I am the government. Whatever I say goes. Scoring errors count. Life isn't fair. Suck it up, Buttercup. Nobody cares. The rules are they have one debate, one filibuster, a veto, tariff, redistribute an answer, and everybody starts off with negative 500 points because the government gets paid first. Entering scores. Here's how scoring works. The chat controls the score. You can give or take up to 100 points from contestants. And because I am the government and I believe in crony capitalism, subscribers can give or take up to 200 points because they pay me, so they matter more. Nuking a score. Here's how this works. Any former contestant can nuke a score, taking it down by 1,000 points, but contestants can only be nuked one time, and it has to be for a good reason, so use it wisely. All right. Carrie will go into the back. She controls the chat and the scoring, so make her life extremely difficult. Thank you, Lady T's. All right. All right. Here we go. First question to you, David. Category is who shapes reality? Is the average voter reacting to truth or a carefully constructed narrative?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think reality is reality, but people perceive it differently depending on what their influences are, what their background is, and who they interact with. So different people can have completely different views of what's going on in the world and think two fully different realities are at play. So I would definitely go more with the second option of a carefully constructed narrative. I just don't know if I'd agree with that word carefully because it seems to be kind of a shit show.
Yeah, right. That's fair. I'll allow it. All right, side to you. Do major news stories feel coordinated across outlets for a reason?
Well, yeah, they're all kind of conglomerates of the same company. So, I mean, they're all going to push the same exact narrative and donate to the same exact politicians. And it's going to be annoying no matter what news station you're actually watching. So typically people, are not getting their news from news stations anymore because they just, either they don't like one opinion or another, or they just don't like the way they spin the actual data of what actually happened.
That's fair. All right, Jake, to you. Is trust in the media declining because people are seeing behind the curtain?
To some degree. I mean, there's a lot more options now for getting media than there were, 5, 10, 20 years ago. But I think that it kind of gets diluted to a point where, you have to seek out. And I think at a certain point too, some of the people that get in at an entry level who are genuine, by the time you get to a certain level where they get sponsors and things, the message kind of starts to shift. So overall, yeah, I think so.
Definitely. All right. Back to you, David. The category is war without end. Does media coverage make foreign conflicts seem simpler than they are?
Oh, for sure. Most of the time when we're leading up to a conflict, especially we've watched it just happen in Iran, the media will make it seem like the people that we're about to go to war with, are terrible, horrible people who deserve it and are committing giant atrocities and are like a terrible risk to global peace, but also they are somehow just a bunch of idiots in a cave with sticks and rocks that we can easily beat and will not cost any like American soldiers or anything like that. And it's always this completely illogical both and that somehow most Americans buy every time.
True story. All right, side to you. Do most voters actually understand why we're involved in foreign conflicts?
I don't think most voters do. I mean, there's not really. I think people are under a misconception that the average voter is super informed when they're probably just looking at, a headline or something, or they've built up all this media that they've watched, and then they're like, you know what, I don't like this other guy. I'm going to vote for this person. They don't really. I mean, we basically just go to war to launder money at this point. I mean, we've been lied into so many wars and it doesn't make any sense. I mean, a lot of the countries we bomb, we could have like super cheap labor there in the first place and get a whole bunch of cheap goods. But, we'd rather cause inflation at home than send some factory over there that would probably do more to build peace than a bomb ever would. So I think it's just, there's not very well informed voters and there's not very well informed politicians either. I don't think they know what they're doing half the time. Probably more than half.
Did you get that half sheet of wrapping paper to your right from a country with cheap labor?
Yeah, I think so. I think this was child labor,
Was
which
it?
I'm totally in. This was in a child sweatshop. And it's great because those kids, they would have been digging in the trash if they weren't making this for me. So good on those kids.
That's good. That's good. Appreciate you supporting them. All right, Jake, to you. Is opposition to war being suppressed?
I think largely, yeah, on mainstream media or legacy media for sure. I think there are plenty of good channels to get out and get some of the information, but you have to do the legwork and really search hard for them. But yeah, I mean, I think to craft the narrative, I mean, you keep hearing all the they've been decimated, and I think enough people kind of fall for that at the surface, and to your casual viewer, your casual person, yeah, I think they fall for it for sure. Trying to figure out how to incorporate donkey punch in this answer for Rob, but I didn't pull it off.
I feel like that counts. And shout out to our friends at antiwar.com, the best source for anti-war news. So if you are not checking them out, you absolutely should. All right, David, back to you. Category is influence for sale. Are paid influencers shaping political opinions more than journalists?
Yeah, at this point, I definitely think so. To allude to some of the answers earlier, I think trust in mainstream media was eroded over the last few years, and a lot of people started switching to alternative media and social media to get their news. And people realize that. So now the alternative media influencer Twitter space is just as captured as MSN or CBS or Fox News ever was. And now it's even worse because they can be siloed out and have all of their different followings of cult-like followers that believe everything they say even more than anyone ever trusted Fox News or CNN. And there's also no amount of regulation or journalistic integrity needed to do it.
Definitely true. All right, side to you. Is it obvious when someone is pushing talking points versus real beliefs?
I mean, it's kind of obvious to me. I mean, you ever hear something over and over again to the point where it just doesn't make any sense? You know, like you'll just hear a narrative constantly, and it's from every single person. Then you start to see, hey, this is not your opinion. You heard this somewhere, and now you're repeating it religiously as if you're like, taken over by the pod people, and just you just emerged all slimy and coming out like that. But yeah, original opinions are hard to find nowadays because they're copy and pasted nonstop, and luckily it's pretty obvious at this point. But I mean, maybe it's just obvious to me.
Yeah, I think we need a ballroom. That's all I really got out of that. Yeah. All right, Jake, to you. Do coordinated narratives move faster than independent thought?
Well, you took the ballroom line for me. I mean, I was going to roll right into that one. I mean, yeah, I think it depends. I mean, it was pretty amazing how after that whole thing at the correspondence dinner, like within minutes, the whole Build the Ballroom campaign was out. I mean, in one way, it's kind of impressive, but then it's again like Cy was saying, like it's pretty obvious when dozens and your normal people, your patriots with a Y, your normal people are out there are shoving the same lines. It's pretty impressive, but also it's pretty sad that it's gotten that easy.
I actually have a funny ballroom story real quick. But the Libertarian National Convention in 2024 was in that same room they call it the Reagan Hilton, because that's where the assassination attempt for Reagan was at. And at the Trump thing, where I was front row center with my media pass and everything, I went through the wrong door originally, and I made it like 200 feet into the room, just walked in and didn't go through any security or anything. And then finally, after like 200 feet, they're like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm with the media." And they're like, "You went totally the wrong way." So I'm not necessarily sure that their security is always decent too. So that was my little brush with security there. And I also got
They let me go back down and get my bag. Oh, sorry.
Did it?
Yeah, I went through the security, and then after Trump started speaking, went back down, got my bag that had multiple illegal things in it, and went right back into the room with it. I had my weed on me. I had mushrooms I had just gotten from somebody on me. I had my knives in my my pocket because I was like, fuck it, why not? And nobody stopped me.
Yeah, it was not a top-notch affair by any means. So actually the Kennedy one was better than the Trump one, but that's a whole different story. So all right, back to you, David. Category is the true cost of ownership. Do property taxes mean you never truly own your home?
No, you own your home. It's just whether or not you feel like paying the extortion on top of it. I'll take a page out of the Dan Berman book. Like, taxes are not 100% necessary. You don't have to write the check.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Cy, to you. Are voters misled about how much they actually pay in taxes?
Are they misled? I mean, they definitely are. Like, well, they pretty much always have been. I mean, tariffs are taxes right now, so they're hiding taxes in the tariffs. So if you don't make over, what was it, like $400,000, you were saying you increase taxes, whether it's inflation or the cost of tariffs. I guess it used to be like a hidden tax on corporations, right? The stuff that you buy with your money that gets increased in price because we just tax corporations. So really, yeah, it would be nice to just kind of add up all the taxes and figure out how much you're actually paying, because both parties hide them in different ways. And I mean, it's out there. The information is out there, but I don't think people think about it often.
Yeah, but they gave all that money back to the corporation, so that was a rebate to us.
Yeah, yeah. It's what is it? Socialized losses. But when it comes to profit time, that's when we're into capitalism right there.
That's true. That's true. Good point. All right, Jake, to you. Are rising costs framed as inevitable instead of policy driven?
I don't know if they're framed as inevitable. I think people feel like they're inevitable just because it's such a constant. It's like the frog in the boiling water. Like, we're so used to it and we just expect it to always get more expensive. We're kind of so beaten down at this point that when we get a new tax, it's just kind of like, all right, add it to the tab kind of thing. I don't know that it's it's just accepted. I think it's just accepted. That's all.
That's fair. All right, David, to you. Category speech under pressure. Is free speech shrinking in ways people don't fully notice?
Definitely. To go back to my answer about social media being mostly captured, people think that we have this great bastion of free speech, especially with Elon Musk buying X and all of this other stuff that's happening. But if you are actually watching what's going on, people are still getting demonetized. People are still getting their accounts taken down. People are still getting shadow banned like crazy all over the place. If they say anything that goes, if anything, it's worse now than it ever was. It's just that Elon is a little bit better than the old controllers, but in what he personally believes, but he still will shut down anything that goes against what he believes if they're saying it too loudly. And in that time, the other platforms like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram have only gotten worse. So we think that we have free speech because of the internet, but I think it's more controlled than even the airwaves used to be when we had radio.
Yeah, for sure. All right, side to you. Is public discourse becoming more controlled than open?
I mean, yeah, with the demonetization and then bringing down your post reach constantly, they have other ways of kind of suppressing other opinions. But I mean, if an opinion's really good, I mean, I feel like a lot of the times it sees the light of day, but not often anymore. I mean, I feel like suppression is done with, oh, your post is going to only go to this many people, and if they share it, we're not going to show anybody. We're not going to give you any money for your content, even though, we made it so that you don't qualify to get money for your content. It's not really open and free. It's just like, we're gonna give you a bump up if you say stuff we like. And that's about it.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Jake, to you. Is self-censorship becoming the norm?
I think if you are trying to make a living or even side money broadcasting, whether broadcast is not the right word, but putting out content, then yeah, I think so. I think it's becoming normal to, I mean, even some of the posts that our friends group here puts up, I mean, there's asterisks instead of letters, where really you should just be able to say what you want to say. Back to Sai's point about Twitter. But I think it is becoming the norm for people who don't want to get demonetized, but I think it'll always be normal when we're not being trying to broadcast something or trying to record or put out content among your close friends and family. I think you're not self-censoring. At least I know I'm not.
I self-censor because I say all sorts of stuff that get me in way more trouble. So I admit to it. All right. Enter your scores in the chat if you've not done so already. If you're enjoying yourself, share this out again. The chat is hopping, which I love to see. So let's jump in there. Jake got 200 for the If by Whiskey podcast because William loves it. Appreciate that. X chat is better than the YouTube chat. Casey's throwing down here from YouTube apparently. 200 to Jake for the economics math banner. Why does Cy look like he's hiding in a bunker dressed like Zelensky? -100. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Just the musical theater part.
Yeah. There you go. Will you belly dance for us at some point? Because that would be excellent. That would make the intro.
The Neil Diamond skin tight suit he wore. That's my favorite.
There you go.
Some snapping. All right.
Oh yeah.
Libertarian Party's here. What's up? 113 to David. It is a shit show. I don't think he's talking about us. 200 to David for calling the government a shit show. 200 to David. Reality is subjective. 100 to Jake for being the permanent Y in YMCA. I just
you got the
now that he said it. Now that he said
the Y sticking out on the side.
Thanks, Ryan.
No, wait, no.
Fucking love Ryan.
Sai, you gotta do M. David's gotta do C. And I gotta do A.
Oh, wait,
Is
I'm
this how you
backwards.
do M? Is this M?
No, you're just trying to flex. Come on, man.
I can't remember what's M. You can't do it this way.
You were right. I'm just giving you shit.
It's this way. All right, good.
He's like, is the beach that way?
I was having an existential crisis if I forgot how to dance to that song.
There you go. 178 for the first person to incorporate the word donkey punch. We already did that. All right. How many pipe wrenches does a podcaster need, David? Never mind. I don't want to know. 25 for each. I think they're pipe cleaners in David's case. David, nice green screen complete with a fuse box on the wall. Yep, that's you pay extra for that. 200 to Cy for the low info voters. Wait, is Scientific wearing Moscrip's t-shirt? -75.
I gotta tighten that baby up.
Did you buy that in the kids section? Because I think that's where Moscrip shops. Shout out to the great David Moscrip, a friend of ours. Yeah. 200 to Carl for lying us into war. Chris is here, another subscriber, and he's always late, which is on brand with the show. So welcome. 100 to Cy, he's holding out on us. That is a real Picasso hanging behind him. Wait, what happened to all the weird artwork that was like Pez and shit? What happened to that? Ooh, that's very nice. That's very nice.
My daughter was drawing those.
Was growing that?
No, my daughter draws all these. Now it's crooked. Oh crap!
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Let's just do the
Now it's crooked. The whole show.
There you go.
I hope you're happy.
The awkward painting cam here. We got some pit here. This is nice. This is gonna get our ratings up. All right.
I'll keep trying to balance this all
Yeah.
day.
If it hits
There
you in
you
the
go.
head and breaks, I'm giving you points. 200 to not Chuck for saving children from internment. Terry called Carl Chuck for a long period of time, so that's where that comes from. Grumpy Gnomes here. What's up? 200 to Krampus for supporting poor kids abroad. I like that you're now Krampus.
We're like-
cramping it is good.
We watch that movie every Christmas about Krampus because I read him like a German story about Krampus, and every Christmas we watch that one.
Really?
So,
That's nice. That's a sweet story that we didn't need to hear.
yeah.
75 to Jake for being the guy that starts the wave at any event he attends. 146 to Cy, keep those kids employed. 200 to Fife for almost a quick yes. Leah's here. What's up? 100 to Jake for being anti-war, 100%. 200 to Jake, give me your tired, your poor, less marks, and more Mises based banner with a Rocky pose on it. Gunther and CT left the chat. 200 to Cy. 100 to Cy for sounding like Adam Carolla. Copy and pasted opinions, things Joe Hanush could never be accused of. Plate stickers, anyone 50 to Cy. And I'll give 50 to the great Joe Hanush as well. 200 to Jake, it was creepy as fuck. 100 to Cy, forgot why. I think it was a good plan or was. Erwin's here. What's up? Happy Cinco de Porto. I don't speak of the Spanish. 100 to Jake for calling out the MAGA room BKTS, but Beckett's? I don't have no idea. 200 Jake for booking a gig in the new White House ballroom. You rock. 169 points to Jake for the shirt. 200 David for getting drugs and knives past secret security. It's not that impressive. Hunter Biden and Kamala did it all the time, apparently. 200 to David, property taxes extortion. 200 to Cy for unauthorized broadcasting from the barracks, very ballsy. Minus 13 to Cy for sounding like he's speaking into a pillow. This was his upgraded audio. So this was a big step for a small step for Cy, big step for the show. 200 minus 200 to David. They will take your property. That's true. 200 David, taxation is extortion. You don't have to write the check. Jonathan Miller, another subscriber running for the NC Senate, is here. What's up, brother? 84 to Cy for the 2002 Motorola phone earpiece. I told him he looked like a punk dad at a sporting event that was like too cool to take off his Bluetooth thing in 2002. So I really appreciate you saying that. Cy's wallpaper would be great to wrap the Trump nativity set in for a white elephant gift. 25 for the multi-purpose use. 200 aside because I talk even slower and lower. That can't be possible. 144 to Cy. He's smarter than me and has more personality. I feel like people are watching a different show or something. 200 to David. Fight. Kudos to David for safety first. Unimpeded access to your fuse box is totally up to government code. 100 points. Did Cy just equate crony capitalism with phony post reach and unmonetization? Impressive. 100 points. 200 to Cy for sitting in the corner. Did you get in trouble again? What did you do this time? He's always in a corner. 199 to Jake for not self-censoring. So many different fonts on Jake's screen. It's going to drive Casey's ADD nuts. Yeah, that's 100% true. 25 points. It should be more than that. Mark's here. What's up, buddy? If by whiskey, do not self-censor. That is true.
True.
200 to Jake. The disappearing chair magic trick is awesome. Yeah, your chair's going in and out. 200 to Cy for sharing happy hour with us. That's true. It's not that happy. He's drinking Coors Light. It's depressing hour. 200 to David for laughing. 200 to David for laughing at all Freeze joke. Always appreciated. 2 to Cy for better audio and no craft room vibes. I don't know if it's better, and I kind of like the craft room. There were snacks there.
It was nice. Yeah.
Travis is here. Check out his podcast as well. Sorry I'm late. 100 points to everyone but me. And that does it for the points. Oh, shit. I forgot to add the scoreboard. Somebody say something interesting. Side flex or knock something off the wall or do something.
Pick a card.
That one.
David, pick a card.
That one right there.
Is this your card?
Wow, that was amazing.
That was better than my Uno cards. I appreciate that. All right, let's check the scoreboard. I think I got it up here. Here we go. All right, Jake in the lead, 25-48, trying to break the streak. David, 23-13, and Cy, just 100 points back, 22-13. All right, let's jump back into it here. And I really hope the card trick got some points because that was pure magic. All right, David, you. Oh, and this category is sponsored by Zoom Beyond Shrooms. Check out zoomtrip.com, xumtrip.com. Appreciate them sponsoring the show. David, the category is the war at home. Is the war on drugs more about control than safety?
Of course. There's never been a concern about safety when it comes to the war on drugs. It was started with lies. It's propagated by lies, and they keep letting other things remain legal while criminalizing some of the safest plants and medicines that are known to man, which is exploited pretty well, in my opinion, by your wonderful sponsors, that they're able to sell stuff that is basically Molly and mushrooms completely legally in all 50 states. So go to zoomtrip.com and get yourself some wonderful drugs.
Yeah, really good stuff for sure.
Hell yeah.
All right, side to you. Is the public getting the full picture on drug policy outcomes?
Oh, absolutely not. I can't remember the last time anybody's brought up Portugal. It's just nonsense. Like the worst drug you can think of, like heroin, they basically decided you can get it at a safe usage site worldwide. If you're a safe usage site, a total of 0 people have ever died there. They go in, they get a dosage of opioids that won't kill them. They sit down, they relax, they do their thing, they leave, and then they go to their job. They don't sit in prison and cost me at least $75,000 a year just by sending these guys to prison. That guy's contributing to the economy. He's just like going to a place and doing drugs for a little bit and then going home, and it doesn't really affect his work because he's not doing them at work. Portugal, what was it, like 85% of their heroin deaths just disappeared within a couple years just by treating it like a health issue instead of a criminal justice issue. They saved millions, probably in the US it'd be at least a few billion of dollars just wasted by trying to, put these guys in a cell, give them 3 square meals a day, and it's like I'd rather have them out there working. They're not really bothering anybody.
True story. All right, Jake, to you. Are drug enforcement policies driven by results or perception?
Oh, 100% perception. I mean, that's one of the biggest propaganda campaigns. I mean, back from when all of us were of age to remember the war on the your brain on drugs, fried egg thing. It's all perception. None of it's actually results, because the war on drugs has been an abysmal failure to anybody keeping score of any kind.
Totally true. I remember Nancy Reagan with DARE and all that stuff, and the outcome at my school was like, drugs sound cool. Like that was the big outcome there. So, all right,
Teacher, what's meth?
Yeah, exactly.
They find that they never knew what meth was, but now they know what meth is, and they're like, I want to try meth.
Yeah, the only day everybody was paying attention in school. So you smoke that? Yeah. Is that how you use that? Yeah.
So downtown is where I get that?
Yeah. Which corner are you talking about? Can I take the bus
guy?
there?
Oh, yeah, I'll stay away from that guy.
Yeah, exactly. All right. David, to you. Category is power and force. Is the use of force by government framed differently depending on the situation?
From like a public perspective, not really. It's pretty much consistently framed that any amount of force by the government is for the good of society, and we shouldn't be able to be upset about it or complain about it at all. There's some amount of nuance and gray area in that, but it's pretty consistently framed as, well, we're doing this for your own good.
Yeah. Okay. Side to you. Is fear used to justify expanding power?
I mean, yeah, geez, when's the last time we haven't had a crisis? Is it immigration crisis time? Is that what it is right now? Immigration crisis. Now it's war with Iran crisis. And then after this crisis, we have scheduled another crisis. So, yeah, I mean, they're just kind of fabricated at this point, and they're really just designed to keep people at each other's throats and voting in a way that, they want you to vote. It's just tugging at those emotional heartstrings constantly.
Don't forget the ballroom crisis. People can't eat lobster and drink $100 bottles of wine in safety. Right. So, yeah, that's a big crisis as well.
The alien crisis is next.
Ooh, oh, the aliens are coming too.
That's a good one. All right. Jake, to you. Are military actions sold with incomplete information?
Oh, 100%. If people got complete information about why we were doing things and how half-cooked these plans are, they would never get any buy-in from anybody. I mean, it's all limited and parsed out information that is completely framed to try and get people on board.
Yeah, definitely. All right, David, back to you. The category is accountability in policing. Are misconduct cases fully transparent to the public?
No. Can I just send the answer there? Not even a little bit.
I'll allow it. In my defense, as I like to say, these aren't dumb questions. The government's dumb. So, yeah. All right.
Fair.
Side to you. Are bad actors protected by the system?
Yeah, pretty much all the time. Insider trading, we're not for that unless you're in Congress, and then you can insider trade all you want. If you're a well-connected company, you can pay off a small sum for a big lawsuit, even though, back in the day you would have had no caps on any of that sort of thing, and you would have been sued out of business for doing some of the things that other corporations do. And, even like small businesses, sometimes they just lie to consumers. You can commit fraud if you're doing it in the right way. You just can't commit fraud if you're doing it in the way, they don't like. So they kind of pick and choose who they enforce those laws on a pretty constant basis.
Yeah. Approved fraud. I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right. Jake, to you. Do narratives around policing match reality on the ground?
Well, first off, I got to say shout out to Woodcraft for keeping up the jokes in the chat while Sai's on the show. It's pretty gnarly to watch. No, I don't think so. I don't think they do at all. Easy enough answer.
All right. Cool. Back to David. Category is close to home. Would more local control lead to better outcomes?
100% across the board. The nationalization of anything is going to be a bad plan. There is no system that can ever accurately account for 330 million plus people. The best outcomes that you can possibly get are when they're made as locally as possible, all the way down to just being you in your own home. Get to just choose what you're doing in your own home.
Definitely agree. All right, side you. Do local communities understand health issues better than national leaders?
I mean, national leaders is like such a loose term. Like, who are we talking about? Like government officials from health? Because you really can't trust a whole lot of what they're saying. If you're talking like a scientist that's had nothing but good peer review, that's gone out there and published studies over and over again, has a huge professionalism behind what he's actually doing, then I'd say, yeah, they would know more than, a lot of people at a local level. But the officials, I'd have to clarify on what that actually means, because they just communicate in the worst possible way. They could tell you to do something, you would have no idea what they're talking about, and they would never explain it to you because they think, you're not worth their time, even though you're paying their wages nonstop. I don't know. I mean, some
I
local
feel like
areas,
I just heard you say that we should listen to RFK. I feel like that was your answer.
No. No, don't be doing that.
I write these questions specifically for you, and I've known you a long time, right?
It's a little sore now, because the one thing I was kind of okay with, there's like a very small list of things I'm okay with the government doing. One was all this amazing cancer research that came out, and it's like the first thing they did, and it was mostly, lawmakers. It wasn't a huge thing, but they were all for it. Is just cutting all the cancer research when we were like super close to actually finding new treatments for everything. And I work in a hospital, so it's like super annoying that the health system is just not even anything close to anything anymore. They don't do anything I like at this point.
Yeah. We can tell by your background that you work in a hospital.
Yeah, this is the gown. There's somebody changing behind there. Yeah, it's not as good as you think. I think that's like a 90-year-old person, something like that.
Yeah. All right, Jake, to you. Is local decision making being replaced by distant authority?
In some places, yeah. I mean, I think in your larger kind of collective, your larger cities, I think so. I think on some level in your small towns where people know their neighbors and they take time to get involved in it's a little easier to get involved in the community where people make eye contact and they're not looking at the sidewalk when they pass you. I think there's still some good power in local decision making there, but overall, I think in larger cities, people just look to daddy. They just look to have have it outsourced, and I think that's the trend that we've been living with.
Totally agree. All right, David, to you. Category is health and control. Is healthcare policy driven by patient needs or institutional interests?
Healthcare policy is neither. It's driven by crony bureaucracy and scratching people's backs and finding compromises in bills to a point where it literally isn't the best case scenario for anyone involved. A healthcare system that was completely constructed by doctors and insurance companies with no government oversight in any way, shape, or form would still operate better than the shit show we have right now.
Definitely would. All right, side to you. Is healthcare access being expanded or restricted through regulation?
Oh, it's extremely restricted. There's like, 35 states that have certificate of need laws. And if anybody wants to know what these pieces of shit are, you have to ask your competition for permission to open up a new segment to your hospital, open up a new hospital, open up a mental health facility. So it was like 2018 while I was running. It was constantly, people are like, we don't have enough mental health. We don't have enough mental health. Constantly. They have to keep people in ERs for 72 hours just to, get them to somewhere with a mental health facility, and it's usually across state. Well, the Certificate of Need Board, they denied 5 of them. 5 of them from opening. They wanted to open 5 different ones, and they're like, no, we don't need that. Even though we obviously need it, you just don't want the competition. So healthcare policy is just awful. The AMA sets how many doctors we train every year, and that has, I think it had a recent uptick, but before that it was the same since the 1970s. It was ridiculous. They set policies. I mean, there's good unions and bad unions. I think the AMA is like the biggest union in the United States, but it's just ridiculous that regulations are holding back hospitals so much, and 70% of their people in a hospital are administrators now. They're not direct patient care. So hopefully AI takes their job. I would like AI to take their job. That would be great. I'm for that. If Grok could get on that, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be good. I'm for abolishing all other political game shows. So I think that would be cool. All right, Jake, to you. Well, there isn't, because I want to abolish them. But yeah. All right, Jake, to you. Is trust in healthcare systems declining?
Fuck yes. I mean, it's obvious that half the time when you can go look something up and get a pretty solid answer of what you think, when you're going to the doctor to tell them what to check, that's the first problem. The other biggest problem that I have, and I don't have the experience that Cy does, but at least here on the West Coast, so many doctors' offices are going to this concierge care where you're basically now paying a subscription to go to see a good doctor, because the healthcare insurance system is so fucked that they don't even try and fix it. They just build a workaround. So now you're paying for health insurance, but now on top of that, you got to pay a subscription to go see a doctor that is halfway decent. And every time I find a good doctor, because I refuse to play the concierge game, But every time I find a good doctor, it's a matter of months before they send out the announcement. Hey, just so you know, we have to do this in order to make money. So absolutely, I hate it.
Yeah, 100%. All right, enter your scores in the chat. If you have not done so already, please share this out again. Bust up the algorithm because they're a bunch of punks. Oh, here we go. Points to Cy for the card trick. Only 10 points because it wasn't really that great. 100 to Cy for the magic show. Minus 200 to Cy for the card trick. You're losing on the card trick. You tried to bail me out. It's hurting me. Right. 200 to David always. Terry, Free, Carl, Jake. Minus 50 to David for having 5 letters in your first name. Woodcraft's doing.
See if I vote for you next convention.
Yeah, here we go. Minus 100 to Cy, you don't hold the cards. 200 to David for promoting our amazing sponsor. They are the best for sure. 200 to David, he's a stand-up guy. The Krampus cam is freezing. Must be that BlackBerry hotspot Wi-Fi. 100 to Carl. 200 to Jake. Pity points for losing on his previous appearances. Phil Ryan's here. What's up? Our buddy from LP Allies. Check them out. They are awesome. 100 to Cy for finding a new way forward for drug policy. 28 to Jake for this is your brain on drugs. Rude's here. What's up, buddy? 50 to Jake. I want eggs now. That's funny. Mitch Connor's here. What's up, buddy? Points to Jake. Points to Carl. 100 to Jake for being pro fried egg. 200 to David. Earning the Eagle Scout badge is based. Well done and impressive.
Thank you, sir.
50 to David. Government maintains a near monopoly on use of force. 122 to Cy for sadly asking which crisis time it is. Points to Cy. Crisis sounds weird when you say it too much. Points to Cy for crisis awareness. Points to Cy. The government never knew a crisis they couldn't propagate. Points to Cy Carl Chuck for forgetting what he was talking about and just saying a bunch of random words. I get that a lot. Read his comments sometimes. Points to Jake for his 100%. Points to David, immediate laughter. Put your hands in the air if you're a true player. Jake probably 100 points. 200 to David for finding humor in the ridiculousness of police accountability. Points to David for answering a question with a laugh only and free understood you. Yeah, that's a skill. 100 more to Sam Rockwell Carl. Hashtag Epstein did not kill himself. Now we're off of some sort of platform, I'm sure. Why does it look like Krampus is being held against his will in a Liam Neeson movie? Minus 75. Points to Cy for explaining the two kinds of fraudsters. Points to David for his jovial and brief answer. 200 to the first contestant.
Fuck the police.
Ooh, close one.
I
think Jake won that one.
There were police outside this bar we were doing karaoke at, so we switched the speaker around and we played Fuck the Police while they were out there arresting someone. They're not going to arrest the whole bar.
Yeah. All right. Points to David all the way down to the individual. Bronner's here. What's up? Sorry, everybody. I was late. Was interacting with the next governor of New York, Larry Sharp. Shout out to him and all of our friends that are following the Sharp campaign. Points to Cy for knowing his science. I think he just makes a lot of that shit up. I'm still not convinced. Points to David for his 1960s coiled phone cord fashion statement on the catwalk. Minus to Cy for voting for RFK Jr. I'll double that.
Fucking no way.
I'll double that.
That guy got 2 votes and I wasn't one of them.
That's what everybody heard you say. All right then. Speaking of communicating the worst possible way, here's Carl channeling his inner Maj and Larry. Minus 200. Points to Sam Rockwell Carl. Don't listen to RFK. He does coke off of toilet seats.
Maybe that's part.
It's in the round.
Maybe not the toilet seat though. Maybe like do it on the tank or something. Slightly less
like a gentleman
on there.
I think he's short though, so he might not be able to reach the tank. All right. Points to Carl for looking like a younger Dave Grohl with short hair. Oh, that's interesting. Points or minus decide the government does not need to fund research. Let the free market do its thing. Yeah, I disagree with him on that a lot. Fite for Liberty jumped in the chat here, David Fite. Points decide for taking so long to answer. I could run and pee without being back on screen ever. I mean, you could have run to Iowa and pee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. Points to Jake for
Appreciate it.
making eye contact. Points to Jake for highlighting local communities while pushing back against big government. Minus 150 to Cy Carl Chuck for having 90-year-old men changing off camera. Lindsey Graham loves to be on camera. You should let him make a cameo. Minus to Cy for working in the hospital and not stealing ketamine for me. Points to Jake, city goer, look to daddy. Yeah, they do. Points to David, all that. Points to Cy for calling out certificate of need laws, what they are, pieces of shit. Points to Cy for certificate of need. Points to David for being active in the chat, answering questions on a game show, and while working in Grumpy Gnome's wood shop. Yeah, Grumpy Gnome is working on our Christmas present, so leave him alone, please. Points to Cy for the AMA bashing. Points to anyone who mutes Cy while he rambles. Another 200 if he doesn't even notice. Cy, your sign language is terrible. You keep telling people to do cartwheels and flash dance. Minus 175. Put your damn hands down. Points to Jake for fuck yes. Points to Jake for refusing to play the concierge game. Points to Jake for the 3 F-bombs in one answer. That is not a record, by the way. Points to David for having the circuit breaker in the background. Everybody's like it.
Everybody loves the fuse box tonight.
Everybody's into it. Ron's here. What's up? Heard this one, but now I'm here to see what it looks like. LOL. Appreciate you being here, man. This is a good one to join us with.
What up, Bronwell?
Points to Cy for playing NWA. Fuck the police for the pigs. Only Carl can make karaoke night at a bar sound like some kind of badass protest against the police. Real tough, bad buddy. Minus 100. That wasn't your best story, no.
No.
Definitely points to Cy for playing fuck the police, badass. All right, no, so you're getting points for it. Minus to Cy for doing rips off the tank. Oh my god. I'm dying here. All right, we had a little flipperoo here. Let's see where we're at. David now in the lead, 45-60. Jake just behind, 44-26. And Carl Cy, 42-45. Lost some points because of his love for RFK and doing rips off the toilet seats.
Look at them negative points.
Yeah.
Those are what I'm going for.
Yeah, you got a lot of negative points.
Yeah.
It's really
I heat my house with hate mail, so this is actually working out really well for me.
Still got a long way to go to beat Josh Holovka's record, though.
Yeah, that was he was playing golf that night. All right, here we go. Back to it, David. You category is powering the future. Are certain energy sources favored through messaging campaigns?
Definitely. I'll tell a fun little anecdote on this one. I was at a museum of science in Houston, Texas, a few years ago, and I noticed that they had like the top floor was like energy something or other. And so I was fully expecting to go up there and see like a whole bunch of stuff about green energy and why oil and gas is awful and why we're killing the planet, because that's what most science museums say. You get up there and there is a model of an oil rig and a whole bunch of things like that, because I forgot we were in Houston. And like the entire floor was sponsored by ExxonMobil. So it was just a complete propaganda wing of a science museum to teach kids why oil and gas is actually great. And then their science classes are lying to them. And that's, I feel like what it is on both sides. It's just messaging campaigns that are paid for by companies that profit from policy choices, and nothing has anything to do with actual science.
Do I want to know why you were on a field trip a couple years ago?
I was actually, Thomas Queter got invited to go around the museum and basically stress test their accessibility features. And whether or not, he could read all the signs and make it through all the doorways and whatnot, because they prided themselves that the Houston Museum of Natural Science. It's honestly a great space. They passed all of his tests. We had like 2 issues of like a plaque that was weird and he couldn't see it from the wheelchair. But other than that, they did a great job.
That was not the funny response I was looking for.
I also have 2 kids, so
Yeah, it just seemed creepy. That was just that was the point I was going for. Just hopped on a bus in the morning and went on a field trip with some kids. That's what it sounded like to me. All right.
Whose kids are these?
just got on the yellow bus through the exit door. Like, where are we going? Let's go. All right, side to you. Is energy independence achievable under current policies?
Oh God, what they did to wind and solar is just atrocious. They tried to make it this commercial thing. It was like this big revolutionary thing. You can put it out at your place and you don't have to worry about energy companies as much. They'll buy back the electricity from you. You'll have an awesome time. But instead, they charge you all the tax dollars to put up commercial windmills and commercial solar farms, and the energy company gets to make all the profit off of it. So you get to pay twice instead of once to get the same type of energy. And it's like, if you want a commercial energy, go with nuclear energy at this point. I mean, we're not going to get enough electricity for these data centers if we keep building them up like this. I mean, I could probably care less about the water. The water's fine. Almond farms use way more water, but you know, they try to keep everyone down by making sure that you can't get away from the company, even if you want to, even if you want to not pay your energy bill anymore.
So your answer was so long there, I had time to find this. Next time you say you love RFK, I'm pulling this out.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The fuck it. They brought all those stupid chickens to the convention, and everybody was like, oh yeah, they're for Chase. They like, everybody thought it was like you know, not Chase, but whoever you wanted to be the president. I don't think it was decided at the time. And then they found out it was like RFK bringing rubber chickens. And Secret Service was on those fucking rubber chickens for the most part, but a few still got in. But that was back when he was running against Trump, and you know, he sold out shortly after, and has been doing a horrible job ever since. Oh yeah,
that sounded like more love. That sounded like more love. All right, back to it, Jake. To you, are energy policies shaped more by politics than practicality?
I mean, yeah, politics and donors. I mean, practicality, back to what Cy was saying about data centers. I mean, nuclear is really the only way to go for the power that we keep saying that we need. If they want everybody to go with electric cars and all these other things to data centers and all these other ways to modernize the world, that has to be nuclear. And it's been such a poo-poo for so many years to talk about nuclear. It's unsafe. And now all of a sudden the data centers are taking up so much power, and they're going to have to, everybody's so in love with AI and rolling all this out that now they're allowing nuclear if the data centers and the tech companies build their own reactors and their own power plants for the data centers. So yeah, I mean, that's the only way to do it. And it's completely hindered by policies.
Definitely is. All right, back to you, David. The category is winners and losers. Do policy decisions pick winners and losers?
In most cases, today the chat's picking Carl as the loser, though.
Oh,
that's right. Because I'm a real libertarian. I come in
shots
third,
fired in the ballroom.
Third.
All right, back to it. Side you. Is competition being limited through regulation?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like a regulation should be somewhat about safety, right? So it's like, here comes what, 2011 Food Modernization Act. You can blame Obama for a lot of the meat factories shutting down, right? Because they had to upgrade all their equipment and then, you know, make everything like stainless steel and go crazy with meat processing plants, even though it caused a slight decrease in foodborne illnesses, not a huge amount, not enough to justify all those other plants closing down. But big companies love regulations. That's the thing everybody needs to know, because they usually write them themselves. They can afford to abide by all of these regulations. If a startup company comes up and they're trying to, start up any sort of business in the marketplace, they can't afford to comply. So they're going to get screwed over, and this big business is going to be the only person you can buy from, them and maybe 3 of their buddies. And that's it. Regulations are just for filtering the market down to a couple companies, and sometimes safety.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Very, very rarely. Yeah.
Not every now and then.
Yeah. Jake, to you. Are voters aware of who really benefits from policy decisions?
I honestly think voters are so desensitized to policy that they don't even pay attention to the decisions. I mean, on one side, if your guy makes the policy, you like the policy, regardless of the details of it or the outcome, and vice versa on the other side. It's just become so much of a game, and nobody's really informed or paying that close of attention, generally speaking. So absolutely, it's just shell game.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, David, back to you. The category is justice or selective enforcement. Do people trust the fairness of law enforcement?
A lot of people do, because they don't understand the situation or what's going on, but it usually takes one interaction with law enforcement to switch that opinion up pretty quickly. As soon as you actually understand how it operates and what they do to people, it shakes up the fairy tale that you were told as a story or as a kid pretty quickly.
When you were a kid on a field trip?
Yes, I literally went to a police academy as a field trip once when I was in high school. Watch somebody get tased.
Last week I went on a field trip to all right. Side of you. Are laws enforced equally across all groups?
Man, hell no. Oh my God. It was just, Lars put it when he was running for president. Lars was great on this issue. He would, talk about COVID, and you would see all these rich people at dinners, and they would be going out, and nothing would ever happen to them. Maybe they'd get a slap on the wrist. Pelosi was getting her hair done, even though, does anybody ever look at Pelosi's hair? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I've never been a big fan. But you really see there's 2 classes of people. There's the ones protected and can do no harm, and they're such a benefit to society, we just can't do anything to them. And then there's us, and you are worthless to the government, so you get treated badly, you get arrested, you get fined constantly for everything you do. You can't commit me and Martha Stewart can't do insider trading, but Congress can do insider trading all the time. So I would just like to be a little better off than Martha Stewart, really.
So you get insider trade from your craft corner?
Oh yeah, and do some cooking shows with Snoop Dogg. That would be pretty awesome.
That would be based.
I'd be for that.
I would dig that. Jake, to you. Are some crimes ignored while others are targeted?
Yeah. I mean, the crimes that are targeted are the ones that make the money, where they can collect and fleece taxpayers for fines and fees and all kinds of the ones that are ignored are the ones that they can't make any money on.
Yeah, that's true. All right, back to you, David. The category is the tax burden. Are taxes framed honestly in political messaging?
No, never. No matter which side is trying to frame it and how they're trying to frame it, it is always bullshit. That's framed as, again, like I said earlier, like a necessity, and government force is always for the greater good. and we're not really allowed to question it or anything like that. And on top of that, we have 7 or 8 different layers of taxes that the average person pays. If you're a business owner or a homeowner, that jumps up to 12 or 15 different layers of taxes that we're paying. And most people don't even understand what they are.
That's true. All right, side to you. Is spending scrutiny matching taxation levels?
No, they spend way more than they take in. It's like way over GDP. I mean, if you want to have a balanced budget, I mean, that's going to actually be kind of hard. You'd have to up the tariffs or something and pay for more taxes just to cut even with the amount of spending. And we don't need this amount of spending. Every single time they have a crisis, they up the amount they can spend. And then the next guy, you know, he's like, oh, I'm going to balance the budget. The Republicans love saying they're going to, you know, balance the budget when they're not elected. But then when they're elected, they're like, I've never said that. I don't know what you're talking about. We're going to increase the budget constantly because I got to spend more than the last guy to look good, right? So they're always going to increase the spending. It's always going to have an increase on inflation, whether you see it or don't see it. You're going to have, even if it's not taxes, they can tax you with inflation by printing money. They can tax you with a tariff by importing everything. They can tax you with a corporate tax by taxing everything you use. It's just nonstop. It's constant.
Even when you die, for sure. All right, Jake, to you. Do people feel they're getting value for the taxes they pay?
I mean, emphatically, no fucking way. There's no way that anybody, I mean, to get value for the taxes that we pay, we would have to, I can't even imagine that scenario. There's no, I mean, back to Cy, I mean, we just crossed the threshold now where we're spending, what is it, $1.30 for every dollar we bring in. We're well past the national debt is exponentially ramping up, and nobody, they just keep sweeping under that big old rug as long as they can stay in power.
Definitely. All right. Back to you, David. Category is crisis and opportunity. Is urgency replacing careful decision making?
Yeah, but it's mostly manufactured urgency. Like with the ballroom example, that's obviously the top one on most people's minds because it's joked about a ton tonight. Whether or not the shooting itself was manufactured, the conversation around it was. This has nothing to do with a ballroom. It has nothing to do with anything like that. It's entirely a Secret Service misfire. And they did get the guy. He didn't actually kill anybody. He didn't shoot the president. Nothing actually happened. Fired off a couple of shots that landed nowhere, and then got tackled and arrested and will probably end up mysteriously committing suicide in jail. And they get an entire weeks-long narrative to push a new bill through to waste our money. It's the same thing every time.
I think it's funny that they're using a ballroom to cover up for the Epstein files, but the irony is thick, right? All right. Side to you. Are crises used to expand authority permanently?
For the most part, yeah. They're pretty close to permanently. I mean, yeah, we have a terrorist attack, and now we have the Patriot Act. You can kind of think, what was it? Brett Kavanaugh for that one. That guy basically wrote the preamble for the Patriot Act when he was a judge, and now he's a Supreme Court justice. So that's fun. You know, we have you know, war times, and then every single, you know, tax increase that you have, I would kind of include that into that category. It's never going to go down. They're going to keep going up. They're going to make a new crisis, and then they're going to increase the spending. Even after that old crisis is over, the spending is going to stay the same, if not higher.
Definitely. All right, Jake, to you. Is fear shaping policy more than facts?
Out of those two, yeah. I mean, I think, again, facts, people are selectively choosing what they call facts. And I think the fear is what's driving it for sure. I think the information that people get, they're either too busy to curate it and find the right information, or they don't care enough to. So I think it is fear that drives it more than facts, for sure.
All right. Enter your scores in the chat if you've not done so already. Share this out again if you don't mind. Let's jump
Amity,
into
does the
chat.
hat count as saying it, or do I have to say taxation is theft?
Well, you just did both, so I think that I feel like you're foreshadowing what's going on. Sai has been abducted, so let's do an awkward Sai shot real quick. I feel like that's an upgrade. All right, here we go. Ron's here. What's up, Ron? 100 to David Fite for replaying replying in the chat. Minus 100 to Sai for playing solitaire between answers. Points to David for visiting Sai's museum. Minus to David for affecting a very light and lispy pattern of speech that is absolutely incongruous to the very manly background filled with tools and fuse boxes. Points to David for saying Sai isn't real. Stop it, Sai. Stop it. Points to David for still going on field trips. Points to David for going on a field trip with Thomas Queter. Dr. Simon's here. What's up, buddy? Points to David for criticizing biased science museums, although oil and gas are great. Points to Fite for name dropping Thomas Queter. That's a big name drop. Sorry I zoned out during David's answer about a museum and watched the entire fourth quarter of the Pistons basketball game. So minus to David. Points to David for going to a museum with Queter. I mentioned Carl looking a little bit like Grohl, another 200 for sounding like Letterman. Points to David if he rode on the short bus, but 100 points if it was a long bus. Minus 50 if it was a nice charter bus. I feel like he was a stowaway, so I don't think that really counts. Now that you mentioned Krampus has quite the right nostril, now I understand the drastic weight loss, 150 for that. Points to Sai for going nuclear for energy, not war. That's great, K. Points to Carl for understanding basic physics, namely that modern countries need reliable baseload power to keep the grid running. 100% true. Minus to Sai for putting me to sleep with his wind and solar answer. It was like being hypnotized by a wind farm in upstate New York. He gets that a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks for mansplaining the chickens, Carl. G's minus 50. Points to Jake for nuclear energy, or nuclear, as our former president used to say. Minus to Sai. Junior didn't sell out. He wanted to run as a Democrat against Trump. There's a chicken for that one. Points to Jake for making it be foo-foo for so many years. Points to Jake for being fucking based. That's true.
I'll take it.
Points to David for high-end shit talk. Points to Jake, forgot why. Points to David for dissing Sai the loser. Yeah, that was funny. Points to Sai, thanks Obama. And I think he called him Obama at one point. Like he has a pet name for him. Minus 200 to Carl for slamming checked notes, water in the can, and then doing charades. Points to Sai for the immediate answer, now muting the rest. Points to Jake for showing the double standard on data centers. Data centers will be the reason modernized countries run out of water. 100% true. Points to David for calling out a libertarian. Points to Sai for regulations equals safety. Minus to Sai, I don't know what to do with my hands either. Even Ricky Bobby knows what to do with his hands, so minus to Sai. Points to Jake for desensitization. Points to Jake, more like 3-card Monty. 200 to Jake for pointing out people don't give a shit. Just pick the right guy, and that's always my guy. 100% true. Minus to Sai, I don't think the government does one effing thing for safety. They are our enemy. I'm with you there, William. Minus to David, no one ever told me any fairy tales. You should go on a field trip with him sometime. Points to Sai, hell no. Points to Sai, there's a big elite club and we ain't in it. Points to Sai, the sophisticated people concerning COVID restrictions. Can I nuke Sai for telling hypothetical stories to himself and still not knowing the answers to his to BS his own make-believe questions? I couldn't read it, so that doesn't count. Minus 200 if you can't, so you just get the minus 200. Points to Cy for the cooking show with Snoop Dogg. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Points to Jake. Crimes are money makers. Cy is the only libertarian I know without a podcast, so that'd be a good one, by the way.
Right.
Oh yeah, points to Jake. Points to Jake. Crimes are selective and arbitrary. Points to David. It's always bullshit. Points to Jake. Criminal justice equals revenue generation. F the police. Hashtag Epstein. There's a lot there. Rose is here. Brent sent me here. That's awesome. Thank you, Rose. 200 of Jake. Crimes targeted are for the crimes they can't make / steal money from the people. You down with GDP? Yeah, you know me. Points to set. Now everybody's wearing the same hat except for Jake. Points to Jake for hanging out with me later this week. Is that do you know you're doing that, Jake? Because I might be able to get you out of that.
Hell yeah!
All right, Jake Ed's here from the Biblical Anarchy podcast. Also a subscriber. Appreciate you, brother. Points to David for bringing the fight. Oh, that was a dad joke right there. Points to Jake. There is no law. Why laws are selectively enforced, and you can buy your way out of punishment. 100% true. Points to Cy. Tariffs are taxes. Points to Jake. Some people really think it's worth it and will defend taxes. Points to the first person. Yeah, we did that. No, you're way late on that, man. You got the hat way late. That was just so poorly coordinated. You need your costume person behind your shower curtain there is not doing a good job.
No, they're not.
Points to Jake for signaling a successful field goal attempt. Yeah, it's not football season. Points to Cy on poor accountability of tax revenue, and points to Jake on poor tax revenue and spending. A certain PNW state, Pacific Northwest, I believe that would be, just ranked lowest in tax reserves while having the highest taxes on many things. All right. Minus to Cy for saying yeah for the most part rather than saying yep always. He's got that Iowa ease stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Points to Cy for the epic catch cradle skills. Are you doing those? Is that a thing? Minus to Cy for trying to rickroll us with his answer unreal. John Day's here. What's up? Points to Jake for the short answers. Is that a relative?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
All right. So somebody, maybe it's a relative of Morris Day. It could be.
I came to win.
Points to David for the follow-up question. So considerate. Points to David for the hat and saying taxation is theft. Points to Cy for the hat. I won't allow that one. OMG's here. What's up? Points to Cy for the earpiece. Yeah, that's really hot. Minus to David. Fix your hat brim. Give Jake 1,000,000 points for being an awesome dad and son. All right, I feel like I'm connecting the dots here. Points to Cy for not having a podcast. Yeah, I'll allow that one.
Valid.
Points to me for hosting a cool show and allowing my dumbass to be a part of it. I'm a dumbass and I host it, so that's totally welcome. So, all right, let's check out the scoreboard again. All right, and Jake has jumped back into the lead, 66-42. David 65-55, and Carl Cy 63-20. Let's squeeze one more in quickly here. All right, David, to you. Categories rights versus permissions. Are rights treated as inherent or conditional?
Rights are treated like something we're granted by the government, and like they're a privilege, not even a right, which makes it very easy for them to be taken away or restricted.
Very true. Cy, to you. Do people increasingly need approval to exercise basic freedoms?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, people need a lot of approval, a lot of self-approval. But yeah, it's, I mean, yeah, I don't know. You want short answers or?
I mean, you're supposed to like answer the question. It could be short, but it's got to be an answer. Never mind. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's good. Jake, to you. Do people feel free or managed?
I mean, I think it depends on who you ask, but I would always go with the free men don't ask for permission. I mean, if you want to feel managed, then feel managed. But if you want to feel free, then do what you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. I like it. Power of the people. All right. David, back to you. The category is the cost of compliance. Is it harder to participate in the system than it should be?
Oh, for sure. Just dumb, simple things like getting a driver's license or being able to operate a business requires jumping through so many hoops and paying so much money out of your ass that it makes it almost impossible to operate fully and completely legally unless you already have a bunch of money.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Sai, you're supposed to answer the question. It could be short, so let me just set you up here. All right. Are regulations helping or holding people back?
Well, they're fucking holding people back. I mean, obviously, I mean, if you need a license or a regulation for, random things, I mean, like look at hair licenses in different states. You need like what, 1,000 hours in one state and like 2,000 hours. What's the difference? You're not going to go to that barber and be completely freaked out that they only had 1,000 hours instead of 2,000 hours. I mean, regulations just screw over the little man from starting up a business.
I agree. All right, Jake, to you. Are small players being pushed out due to compliance costs?
Oh, absolutely. And I can say this just as a former business owner. I mean, just the cost of trying to do business and comply and pay for this fee, this license in this city, this license in that city, county tax, state tax. It gets to be so burdensome that it completely disincentivizes people from even trying to start a business. And it completely incentivizes those at the top who have the money, who can lobby to get more things passed that they can just get tax credits or tax breaks on so that their business can succeed. Amazon. And then the rest of the small companies don't have a chance.
Totally agree. All right, David, back to you. The category is public trust breakdown. Is transparency improving or declining?
I would say that in some ways it actually is improving because we do have more access to things. The internet and social media does kind of allow us this weird view into the back end of things in where, we get to see Kash Patel getting drunk off his ass in the locker room at the Olympics and things like that just would never have been in the public eye even 5 years ago, let alone 20 years ago. We have a little bit more transparency, but I think all it really is them showing us still what they want us to see through that transparency. It's still being gated pretty heavily.
Great point. All right, Sai, to you. Is trust in institutions collapsing for a reason?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. You got paywalls behind every single study that you actually want to read. There's not enough people doing science communication. That's sucked like crazy, especially during COVID. Like nobody was like actually explaining how things were working or what was going on. It was just government officials and they suck at everything they do. So like they try to explain anything to the general public and it just sounds like a bunch of horse shit and you can't understand it. And then basically everybody gets confused and a whole bunch of problems happen. I mean, yeah, you have a lot of problems with a lot of issues in the U.S., especially when it comes to communication of what's actually happening.
That's for sure. Jake, to you. Are people more skeptical than ever?
Absolutely. I mean, try and getting a straight answer or a straight unfiltered fact or truth from anything that's public. I mean, yeah, there's no way to not be skeptical when everything that you hear is spun one way or sponsored by Pfizer or sponsor. I mean, there's no way to get clear, like true information unless you really, really search for it and work really hard to do it. And that's a very, very small select group of people to do that. And I think everybody has a right to be skeptical too. They're completely justified for it.
They definitely are. All right, David, back to you. Category is incentives drive outcomes. Do policies reward the right behavior?
No, policy's existence means that the right behavior isn't being rewarded, because that means that compliance and being a little bitch that bends over for the government gets you all of the praise and the money instead of the market deciding what should be rewarded.
For sure. All right, side to you. Are political incentives usually aligned with public good?
No. Aligned with public good? No, they're aligned with making money for them and owners for the most part. I mean, that's like usually they have nothing to do with any sort of public good. I mean, there's like small individuals who like might get some grant money that are doing public good, but that doesn't mean that they're working for the government. I mean, if you're working for the government, that's not just like a grant or like a loan or something like that. I mean, most people have like student loans. It doesn't mean they're working for the government. They're out there doing great things. But yeah, I mean, like if you're fully working for the government, it's not probably doing a good thing. I'd give it at least 90% of the time.
I'll take the over. All right. Jake, to you. Is government performance measured honestly?
I've got very short way to say no. Pentagon audits.
Great point. All right. David, to you. Last three questions of the night. Category is central power versus local solutions. Is centralized authority solving problems effectively?
No, they are creating problems fairly effectively so that they can legislate more and control your life more and steal more of your money. It's never been a desire to solve problems from a large centralized government. I believe that there are people in it that genuinely think that they are solving problems, but that doesn't mean that they are actually doing that.
Yeah, that's true. All right, side to you. Is decentralization realistic?
I mean, it's realistic if you can get enough people upset with, everybody, I guess, at this point, right? Because we have people that are upset with the Democrats, upset with the Republicans, so they're always going to vote that way or another. But really, you have to do it with voting, with lawsuits, with jury nullification. You have to do it with every single tool you have in your toolbox, running local, running state, running federal. You have to basically do everything you can to get the message out. When we ran in 2018, a lot of us knew we weren't going to win our elections. So you know what we did? We chose 3 subjects. We were the only ones talking about them constantly at forums. And then a couple years later, all those politicians decide those subjects are great because it's not about informing the average voter. It's about informing the voter who keeps calling their politicians. And that's all you have to really do to make some change. You don't even have to win elections to make change. It happens all the time.
Definitely. All right, last question of the night to you, Jake. Would local solutions work better in most cases?
I think local solutions work better in every single case. I don't think that there's anything that can be understood better from a distance than the people who are up close and living it, regardless of what it is.
All right. Enter your scores in the chat. Tell us who you think won. Tell us what you thought of the show tonight, and share it out if you think people should watch the replay. Let's jump into the chat one last time here. 1 point to Cy for the truck driver earpiece. That's fair. Minus to Cy for not having a podcast. Yeah, that's uncool. Minus to Cy for having a something in his name like they are. Oh, having a slash in his name like they're pronouns. I don't think that was his fault. Points to David. Rights are not granted by the government. Minus to Cy for no reason at all. That's fair. Points to David. 100% of the people think the government gives them rights. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, Cy, bro. Minus 200. Points to Jake, free men don't ask for fucking permission. Points to Sai, short non-answer was hilarious. Points to Jake, opt out. Minus to David for not mentioning a car sticker. Yeah, Joe Hanush will be pissed. Points to Jake for his Ron Swanson answer. I do what I want. Points to Sai, they're fucking holding people back. Points to Sai, the definition of regulation. Minus to free for yes, no questions. First time here, Rude, is do that a lot. Points to Sai, no regulations. Let that barber cut the hair. Points to Jake, it's better to beg for permission than ask for, or beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. Points to Jake, first time I've heard him. I like him. Yo, he's an awesome dude.
Hell yeah.
Points to David for being the first to denounce driver's licenses. What's next? A license to use my toaster. That's true. Points to Jake for being the most articulate and concise. Well done. Points to Jake for not having a Picasso painting or a fuse box in his background. That's excellent. Points to David. They for sure manipulate almost everything we see. Points to Jake. Successful small businesses pay more than their fair share. I'm still sick to my stomach after our tax bill. Yeah, that's absolutely terrible. Points to Sai for horseshit, so underused. Science communication, can't explain that to the general public. Sounds like the last 90 minutes of my life minus to Carl. Points to Jake, I'm drinking whiskey and toasting your If by Whiskey podcast. People need to read or learn about the If by Whiskey speech. That's true. Whoa, language, David. It's a family show, minus 60. Points to David, he knows his shit. Points to David, the government, by definition, incentivizes evil. True story. Points to Sai for his utter skepticism at that question. Points to Sai, confused stare. Points to Jake, why? Because fuck you, that's why. Dave Chappelle, probably. Points to Jake for auditing the Pentagon. Points to Jake, best short answer. Points to David, government wants to steal your money. Points to David, government exists to take control. Points to David, centralization is always the problem. Points to Jake for wearing the hat through the last segment. Minus to Sai for not saying decentralize everything. Points to Sai for toolbox, a tip of the cap to fight. Points to Sai, you don't have to win elections to make change. Points to Sai for utilizing every method possible to spread the good word of freedom. That's true. Points to Jake, grand slam answer. Minus to Jake for such a short answer, I didn't hear it. Points to Jake, whether knowingly or not, he's preaching Samuel E. Konkin. The third, hashtag agorism. Y'all are hard on Sai. That's a true story and a lot of fun, by the way.
Wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah. Sai is on Coors Light number 4, which is like one real beer for a normal person. Lost points for that. Points to David because that's why. Points to Jake for absolutely crushing it and winning the night. Oh, a little foreshadowing maybe. Points to Jake for the great name. That's true. 1 if by land, 2 if by whiskey, 55 to Jake. There's a lot of math there. Points to each of the panelists. Great discussion. 100% true. Let's check the scoreboard one last time here. And the drought is over, Jake. You win tonight. 85-71. David just behind 79-95 and Sai 71-68. Sai, you came into third place. There was a lot of critique of literally everything you did. How did you feel about tonight?
I feel like a champion. I mean, look at all those negative points. That just means that I have inspired something in people. And that's what I really want to emphasize here. I inspired people to give me all those negative points. And just so somebody knows, I'm on 5 beers. Okay. So not 4. Okay. Because that was really bugging me.
Yeah. Well,
this is like 1 1/4 real beers.
Yeah. The movie prize of the night is this. So you would have won by 40,000 points without the negative points. So maybe switch it up next time.
I gotta have them negative points.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Gotta have those.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
You can follow my buddy Cy, who's a great guy, on X at Scientific Libertarian. He does not have a podcast, but he does have a craft corner, so he's fun to follow. Appreciate you doing this, brother. And second place, David Fite. What'd you think, buddy?
Had a great time as always. See a lot of my favorite people in the chat, like Amity and Jacob Winograd and Ryan Woodcraft and some of the awesome people from Texas. I got to shout out Jacob's best joke in the chat because it didn't get pulled up, which is that Joe Biden walks upstairs faster than Cy answers questions.
I hope that was at least 3,000 of the negative points, because that's perfect. And plug everything you're up to.
Yeah, come check out the show tomorrow night. It'll be 9 p.m. Eastern on Free Speech Media. We're interviewing Hannah Heinrichsen of Respect America. It's going to be an awesome conversation about the principle of human respect and her rise to the top of that wonderful organization. And come on back for the rest of the weeks. Watch our live coverage of the convention and of the Midwest Peace and Liberty Fest at the end or at the beginning of August. Come hang out with us at the festival, get to meet Free and Amity and all these other awesome people that are going to be there. And come say hi to me.
Awesome. Yeah, and you can find his show Fight for Liberty on YouTube and Rumble. And his main X account, the one that still works, is at Free Speech Corp. Appreciate you being here, brother. Good luck with the show. And the big winner tonight, he didn't think it could happen. Jake Day, how you feeling, brother?
Oh man, I'm feeling awesome. I'm so happy to just be on the show with Cy and David. I've been on with David before. It's always good. He always has very thoughtful things to say. Cy's always fun and equally thoughtful things to say. It's really neat to be surrounded by so many great people in the chat and everybody kind of contributing. The questions were great tonight. I'm happy to be here, and it was a fun time.
And plug what you're up to.
I'm going to be up to making my daughter dinner here in about 10 minutes. But other than that, If by Whiskey will be on tomorrow night, live 5 p.m. Pacific. We got another couple shows, like I said, before Freedom Fest coming up. And I'm working on some behind the scenes stuff that hopefully we can talk about soon.
Excellent. Yeah, and check out his show, If by Whiskey. It's on YouTube and Rumble. And you can find him on X at the new handle, Update Your Rolodex. He is at Left Coast Speed. Congratulations, man, and thanks for doing this. And let's bring the big T's back, our producer, Terry Batts. Terry, what'd you think?
Let's just say I laughed a whole lot. I mean, between the guys and I love you too, Cy. Between the guys in the chat and this panel, my goodness, and Free. You actually made me laugh too. I needed the laughs today. You guys don't know how much I appreciate it. And I would like to say, and I don't normally do this, but I have a big interview coming up on Thursday with Spike Cohen. So I would like for all you guys to make a wish or pray or do whatever you can do, because if I do a good enough job on the principles of human respect and along with the story that I've lived the last few years, then Free will get some time on the main stage at Freedom Fest, because I'll be promoting the show and they'll play the interview on the main stage at Freedom Fest if I do a good enough job. So I need you guys' help. Send me all the good vibes you can. I'm a nervous wreck.
That's awesome. We're always rooting for you. You know that. And Friday show, 8 p.m. Eastern, we have the lovely Amity Dolby, Cassie Clark, and Amanda Griffiths, who's running for the vice chair of the Libertarian Party. And thank you again to our sponsor, Zoom Beyond Shrooms. Check out zoomtrip.com, xumtrip.com. And thank you again to all of our subscribers. You can subscribe to us on X. And if you want to participate in our subscriber showdown in next month, you can still subscribe and be and qualify for that. So, and if you want to sponsor us, email studio@freedomuncut.com. We will be at Freedom Fest in July 8th through 11th. Register at freedomfest.com. Use the discount code SPIKE100 to get $100 off. And later this month, we will be at the Libertarian National Convention, May 21st through 25th. If you want to join us there, there's still time. LNC2026.com is where you go to register. And we also just announced this tonight. We will be at the Peace and Liberty Festival in Lake Satoshi, Michigan. That is August 6th through 9th. And you can register on their website, which I'll put up next time, which is mplfest.org. That's going to be a great time. And you can follow me and Terry on X at Smarter Game Show. She is at BatsT76. Our swag is available at freedomsuperstore.com. And the shorts for this will be up on YouTube at Freedom Uncut. Thank you so much to the chat. We had such a great time. You guys make this so much fun. Oh, way late on the cat there, Si. Way late on the cat.
This would have gotten me points.
That's true.
Yeah.
You've seen the show before. I know that that's true because you've been on it. So, you should have paid attention. But yeah, thanks to everybody. See you Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern.